And you've been talking to some of your Democrat friends. What was their reaction? Were they surprised that Biden pulled out of the race?
I still have Democrat kids. Oh, God help me. And my mom, too, is still a Democrat.
Remember Roseanne Barr? Well, this is her now.
I tried like hell. And my brother, my gay sister. They're all, I tried like hell. Now they don't even talk to me. I try to text them, and they don't even take my texts. Whatever.
Roseanne, we still love you here at Newsmax.
I do love the fact that her family is like, yeah, I'm good. I also am a little surprised at the lack of self-awareness. She's talking about the LGBTQ members of her family and saying, yeah, they're done with me. And it's like, woman, have you listened to yourself on stage at your stand-up shows? Have you listened to yourself when you're standing next to Donald Trump at a MAGA rally, giving a speech and spewing anti-LGBTQ, anti-trans hatred? I mean, it's not like, because, she's acting like, I just put on a MAGA hat and people don't like me. Tear. It's like, no, they've listened to everything you've said. Your ex-husband has even said multiple times before she had her whole gaffe where she lost her show because she was making racist tweets. He had said, you're right. He said, take that woman's phone away. Do not let her go on the internet. When that woman starts drinking and popping pills, after 8, 9 p.m., you don't want to hear what comes out of her mouth. She's going to pop off and say something really nasty. He had said this so many times, and he was warning the production of Roseanne. He's like, please, you got to do something about this. You're going to lose the show if you let her have access to the internet. And they were like, we can't just take away her access to the internet. He's like, okay, tell me I didn't. I told y'all, I warned y'all. Good. Even Tom Arnold, the ex-husband, yes, he was the one that said this. You can look this up. It's well documented. He was like, take this woman's phone away when she starts drinking and taking perks.
What did you want me to get you for Mother's Day, Mom?
Just tell me you're straight and you're going to have kids. That's all I want.
Okay, I'm straight and I'm going to have kids.
Yeah, but are you telling me the truth or...
Well, if you're, by default, asking someone to tell you something, they're going to tell it to you. You can never know if it's real or not.
Maybe they could tell me that they're not going to tell it to me, but if you told it to me, it better be true. I mean, can you, swear on God, or are you, a godless socialist? And then I can't believe what you're saying, because you're not afraid of God, you're probably could be lying, then you might be telling the truth, but it's Mother's Day.
Earlier this year, I was at CPAC, and there was a thing, the Young Republicans held a thing inside CPAC and there were, their bold new vision for the future is nothing new, per se. It's taking this country back, conservatism, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, it's not just taxes. But the main point they said, which I actually did agree with, was kids are not being conservative. They're not coming into our tent today because they're parents. It's because of online and online. So we're getting, not to say that doesn't happen, but we're getting away from my parents were conservative, so I'm conservative. And it's more of the, online radicalized me into, being conservative. I also have to love the woman, I want us to think that this was just made up satire, but we've all met these people. This is, I also think it's funny that she's like, I want you to be straight and I want kids. I could understand if she's like, listen, I'm, as a parent, if you wanted to be as a parent, go listen, you know what, LGBTQ, whatever, alphabet, rainbow mafia you want to do, listen, just go for it. Just give me some grandkids, right? Figure out the whole grandkid thing and we're good, right? That's a reasonable discussion to have as parents, right? Hey, grandkids, right? But just to say, like, I want you to do this, and I want you to be straight. Like, it's pretty demanding, to be honest.
What do you think about the left's indoctrinating children?
Oh my goodness! Listen. This is what happened in Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
This is what happened in Russia.
And then you and your 7-year-old granddaughter, you're writing all the songs that are all about how Joe Biden's bad and Trump, or
well, we've got other songs, but the ones that are that we put on here are definitely our pro-country.
Oh my God, that's such a good bit. Before I can't even do like an analysis because I'm just like, I'm jealous. All right, Good Liars. That's so good. That's so good. I can't even say anything. I'm just jealous about that. Very good. Hats off. No notes. Just, woo. Okay. That is just the Good Liars. Sometimes they well, not sometimes, but sometimes they come up with just a work of art, really, and it's all one take. It's very smooth and it's like jazz, baby. Okay, so that was a very good joke by the Good Liars. I've been trying to do things like in that vein, and they just nailed it. Good for them. I will say, what I said before is that people are getting radicalized, by the internet. They're getting radicalized into, I started a new, Google account, and I went on YouTube to for whatever reason, the YouTube's default setting was Jordan Peterson, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan. And this is me just starting an account out of nowhere. The algorithm was not trained. It just gave me the most popular videos that it was, the Sigma grind sets, those like YouTube shorts, where it's like, the emotional music and, how have you not made $1 million this morning type of videos. And I was like, yeah, no, the internet is radicalizing younger people and way more than their parents could ever do. To be perfectly honest, I feel like when you talk to like the most just, raging leftists, all of them will all talk about this like conservative household they grew up in. I'm almost happy when I see these parents, just coming down on this, homeschooling. Because I made a TikTok video about, this homeschooling and the comments and the replies and the mentions and the stitches were tons of adults saying, yeah, I was in a homeschooled environment and I am a big, dirty communist right now. I am totally against all of this. So, those parents need to keep doing what they're doing, really.
Our public schools should have local control, not a centralized federal government pushing curriculum that sways way far away from reading, writing, and arithmetic. 161 Republicans voted to get rid of the Department of Education, but we still had 60 Republicans join every Democrat to defeat that amendment. The unfortunate reality is that our federal government is going to continue to have a big say on pushing drag shows, gender ideology, critical race theory, and all this other woke BS.
School choice. Oh my God, school choice. Let's get into that one. It's amazing. So they are using this whole gender ideology thing to basically take education, shut down. They're against public education. They want to shut that down. They don't want an educated electorate. They don't want an educated, working class. And they want to take the money that's going into public education and put it into faith-based organizations, faith-based corporations, right? And also the school choice, where the voucher program, where you get money to go to a private school. So like a $50,000 private school, right? You can get a voucher. No, they're not giving you $50,000. Obviously, they're giving you $10,000 or $20,000, something. And this allows you to, this allows you who, if you make $1 million a year, you're upper class, you now get to, send your kids to, you get to keep sending your kids to private school. They just, give you a rebate. So everyone that was already sending their kids to private school is going to go to private school. And the kids that were already going to get into Harvard, they're going to get into Harvard, God damn it. So it's a wealth transfer. So school choice is a wealth transfer. Shutting down the Department of Education, it's a fantastic wealth transfer. It's a great way to take money going into education and put it somewhere else. Because they're like, local control. We know. I mean, come on. Like, at this point, it's going to be local control. Stop, really. And there's so much I can say about school choice. Their whole school choice thing. So voucher scam, that's total wealth transfer. They want to create this satanic panic of CRT and gender ideology to shut down the Board of Education. And they will do it. That is explicitly outlined in Project 2025. Trump's on board with that. All the Republicans are on board with that. No matter how much they don't know anything about Project 2025, they're all on board with everything in Project 2025. So yeah, I'm getting worked up now. Also worth noting, I don't think people I don't think conservatives understand this, because when I talk about this in conservative spaces like Twitter, I get this huge pushback. So I talk about how things are bad in red states. Not only are things bad, but like their GDP is bad. Like their GDP is not like blue state GDP is like whoosh. Like red state GDP is not good. Maybe Texas and Florida do well. That's not the norm, and they still do worse than the blue states. So people don't know that. People don't know that GDP is bad. Education is like last. Like they rank last in education. Unwanted pregnancies. I mean, yeah, they have huge problems with gun violence. There's all these problems. All we've been hearing about the past several years is the big liberal blue cities, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles. I mean, and according to them, those cities are draining on our economy. They don't talk about how red states get more federal money than they give. New York, California, Massachusetts, they give way more than they get back in terms of what they put into the economy. So but for the conservatives, they don't understand their own states, their own areas are lacking severely. So much so that I don't think they get to have an opinion on how we do education, or pretty much how we do anything.
The superintendent works for the school board, make no mistake. And so this superintendent wouldn't take direction. And if you're not going to take direction as a superintendent from your school board, then you're going to lose your job. And what we need right now, and I've said to you before, is more conservative educational leaders. So if you're out there and you're a teacher or you're an administrator somewhere, you need to start standing up for what you believe in. It's really important, because I think very soon there's going to be a huge market open for you to be able to advance in your career.
I think we've established Moms for Liberty is awful. I don't think people understand how Moms for Liberty works. And if you look at the organization, it's kind of remarkable that it's an anarchist-run organization. There's leadership, but all of the Moms for Liberty chapters are just, little syndicates. It's like anarcho-syndicalism. And it's an anarchist-run organization. Though they don't like report to. It's just their own little franchise. I mean, organizationally, like, hats off. I don't know why you're anarchists organizing for a fascist dictator, but go off. So here's the thing: when you go to the Moms for Liberty conferences that they have, it is not just flag waving for Trump and MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. I mean, that's what they are, but the entire conference is geared towards, participating in your community, and civics, and going back to your community, getting involved in government at the smallest, the biggest levels. And their main message is just one of you can go to your community, get elected to a city council, a school board, and some part of government, and you can make a difference. You can disrupt things. It's actually really inspirational. Like, God damn it. I think leftists need to take that message and use it. I'm a little, another thing that upsets me more than the Reds, how leftists, there's this sort of apathy and this sort of refusal to participate because both sides, system corrupt, whole system is corrupt, needs to be overthrown. Don't really participate in this because both sides, right? You hear every time anyone on the left talks about the election, and there's tons of purity testing. Meanwhile, Moms for Liberty is telling everyone, go to your community, get involved. One of you can just disrupt the entire system. Oh my God, right? Like, she's talking about school superintendents. This is like the most unsexiest thing is, someone should become a school superintendent. You can become a school superintendent. Like, they're very unsexy jobs, and they should stay unsexy. They are unsexy. I mean, have you been to a normal school board meeting that is where the school is running correctly and it's not full of, Moms for Liberty fascists? It's pretty boring, and that's the way it should be. So, Moms for Liberty, get inspired, everyone. Lastly, if you haven't already, look up Christopher Rufo, Hillsdale College. Christopher Rufo is the man behind the whole CRT, gender ideology, satanic panic. He blatantly says in his speech that the entire point of CRT and the gender ideology is to have the general public distrust public education because they want to bring these systems down. They did a fantastic job of it. After October 7th, you had neoliberals and, MAGA, lock arms, get the head of Harvard fired and put in a lot of, policies at different institutions to suppress dissension, protest, change the education system, get their own people in there. It was, right? The fact that there was that whole plagiarism nonsense that wasn't plagiarism because there was, you could go into it. They go into like that there was the rules for under plagiarism were different before you could digitally, reference everything and check everything, and that your, thesis advisor is your co-author and blah, blah, blah. That kind of nuance gets lost in the sauce. My eyes are glazing over just trying to explain that to you, but they have done a fantastic job. Christopher Rufo, they've done a great job at making CRT and gender ideology just sound sexy and satanic and, subversive. These are, I dare you to actually read a graduate thesis on CRT, like an actual book about how, race intersects with the law. I dare you not to fall asleep and, just completely go into a coma. It's a challenge. It should be a challenge, be an internet challenge. So yeah, they've done a fantastic job, in my opinion, of, trying to dismantle the education system. Neoliberals have definitely thrown down and said how can we help in a lot of ways. So, props to the neolibs on that one.